Advisory. Some episodes of the 1836 podcast are not intended for all audiences, due to details that might be considered disturbing. Listener and viewer discretion is advised.
On episode 29 of the 1836 podcast, we talk about some of the biggest and most destructive tornadoes in Arkansas history.
So for this episode, and I think it's maybe timing, everything that's going on right now, and with the release of Twisters this weekend, we're going to talk about Arkansas tornadoes.
Yeehaw!
Now, Joe has a personal experience he'll share with us in a little bit, but I'm no reed trimmer, but I'll try to explain what a tornado is first.
In the heart of America's Midwest, Arkansas experiences the awesome power of tornadoes, nature's most fearsome storms. A tornado is a narrow, powerful column of spinning air that extends from a thunderstorm to the ground. These violent phenomena form when warm, moist air near the ground collides with cool, dry air from above. This collision, known as wind shear, sets the stage for intense atmospheric dynamics. As wind shear makes the air start spinning, strong upward currents within the storm tilt this rotating air into a vertical column called a mesocyclone. This mesocyclone, if it intensifies further, descends from the thundercloud to the ground. As it stretches downwards, it gathers water droplets, dust, and debris, transforming into a visible tornado. The spiraling winds can reach incredible speeds, creating a destructive force capable of devastating everything in its path. Understanding tornadoes is crucial for residents of Arkansas, who contend with varying levels of tornado activity throughout the year. The state experiences an average of 39 tornadoes annually, placing it in a region known for volatile weather patterns. From EF0 tornadoes, which cause minimal damage, to the catastrophic EF5 tornadoes capable of leveling entire communities, Arkansas witnesses the full spectrum of tornado intensity. Tornado preparedness is paramount in Arkansas, where residents must differentiate between a tornado watch and a tornado warning. A tornado watch indicates that weather conditions are conducive to tornado formation across parts of a state or multiple states. During a watch, vigilance and readiness are essential, with residents advised to stay informed through NOAA, weather radio, and other local alerts. Conversely, a tornado warning is issued when a tornado has been spotted by spotters or detected by radar. This warning alerts residents to imminent danger, covering specific counties or areas where the tornado is likely to strike. Immediate action is necessary during a warning, as there is a significant threat to life and property. As we delve deeper into Arkansas's tornado history and impact, it becomes clear how vital preparation and awareness are in mitigating the devastating effects of these natural disasters.
Of course, it's spinning air that comes down from a thunderstorm to the ground, and it's when the cool, dry air above mixes with warm, moist air near the ground. And then, of course, it makes a cyclone, and when it hits the ground, it starts picking up dust and debris and all that good stuff, and then you got a visible tornado. Sound about right?
Sounds about right.
I took the...
And sometimes there's going to be a whole lot moisture down on the ground if you're involved with the tornado. So
True. I took the going through Law Enforcement Academy, the Severe Weather Spotters course as an elective, which was pretty cool. Don't remember a whole lot about it, but I remember every tornado has hell in it, but just because it's hell doesn't mean there's going to be a tornado, if that makes sense.
right.
And the difference between a tornado watch and a tornado warning, a watch means the conditions are there, be cautious. And a warning is there is one, take cover, pretty much.
Right. There's one that's been spotted or, yeah.
And the enhanced Fujita scale, the EF scale, used to be called the F, now it's enhanced Fujita.
Right.
EF0 is the weakest, maybe a little damage to some trees, some signs. EF1, tornadoes are a little bit stronger. They can damage roofs, break windows. EF2, tornadoes are even stronger, can destroy mobile homes, cause serious damage to houses. EF3 tornadoes are strong and can tear roofs off houses and move cars. EF4, even stronger. As you can tell, they get stronger as we go up. They can destroy well-built homes, toss cars around like toys, and EF5, pretty much total destruction of anything that's in its path.
That was, if you remember, the one in Joplin that happened several years ago. That was an EF5, and it just leveled most of Joplin. It was awful.
Yeah.
That EF5 tornado that hit Joplin, Missouri, more than 160 people died, more than 1,000 were injured. Wind speeds reaching above 200 miles an hour, and the tornado tearing a path 13 miles long through town.
But what happened here in Joplin was certainly the worst. Just take a look at right around us. There are at least 6 cars mashed into a ball here with a chain link fence and building debris and trees all mashed in. Take a look in the door of this car. It's a Chevy, I think, but you can see a brick coming through the door, and then look at how the door is just riddled and punched all the way through with these holes. It looks like it was shot at by a machine gun. Watch as the tornado touches down.
It's a massive tornado, massive destruction.
Listen to it! Oh, it's getting big.
That's huge!
Oh, I got lightning storm.
Morning, the aftermath. Homes completely demolished, businesses wiped out.
The trees are debarked.
200-mile-an-hour winds ripping a 4-mile path, destroying 75% of Joplin, Missouri in just 10 minutes.
You could hear residents who were trapped under the rubble just crying out for help. Dead bodies were being laid on the street. Their loved ones actually going up to the bodies, crying, screaming, giving them CPR.
St. John's Regional Medical Center, where the roof was torn off, hundreds of windows blown out, and officials were forced to evacuate more than 180 patients.
The roof was completely torn off. The tornado went right through.
The storm destroyed more than 2,000 buildings in this city, leaving miles of brick and wood where there were once homes, cars ripped apart and thrown on top of each other.
Yeah. And Moore, Oklahoma, I can't remember if that was a 4 or 5, but it was pretty bad too.
Yeah.
Left behind by that EF5 that hit Moore. Most of the 24 people killed Monday have been identified. 10 were children, including 2 infants.
Tornado emergency for Moore. You folks in Moore, you need to grab whatever it is you need to grab, and you need to go underground. It is a mile-wide debris cloud. It is a mile-wide wedge, violent tornado. The only way you're going to guarantee you will survive is if you are out of the way, below ground, storm cellar, or basement.
Tracking right down 19th, approaching Santa Fe. We had to bail out of it because it was coming right at us. It's absolutely massive. It's just shredding everything in front of it.
We're about to get in the path of this tornado. We're dropping south. Major wedge on the ground. Oh my gosh.
Right there on the top right of your screen. There's the school. I'm unsure sure the exact name of it. It's going to be south of 4th Street. It's going to be east of Santa Fe. Whatever school that is, it is, like you see, completely destroyed as kids run up to hopefully their loved ones. But this whole area right here, guys, is it's completely destroyed. The houses are destroyed, and they're completely leveled. Let me show you another school right there. That's another school, Linda.
Oh my goodness.
And that one looks like I don't know what to say. That one looks harder. It looks harder hit than any of them before.
Oh my goodness.
As a parent, this is kind of hard to report on.
Of course, we're trying to find out if the kids were being sheltered there or someplace else. Our thoughts and prayers are with everybody in the Moore area. The devastation is complete. One of our cameramen called it atomic bomb-like devastation.
Hey, I'm in the neighborhood walking right now. I just talked to a gentleman. He was at this school. What's the name of the school, my friend? Plaza Towers. That's Plaza Towers. We are probably 200 yards away. He says he's been pulling out children, third graders.
This is the front of Plaza Towers Elementary School. You can see, again, we've said it before from the air, this school is basically gone. It's totally destroyed all around, 360 degrees around where I'm standing. All the homes literally leveled to the ground.
Right now they're searching for what they believe is a mom and a 7-month-old baby. They last heard that she was possibly in the freezer with that child. They've been digging now for a while. All of it's chipping in. We've already had one fatality at this site, a woman who's already been taken away. There's been a hit by a dog, so we believe there is a human in there somewhere.
People
car out of the front hallway off a teacher, and I don't know what that lady's name is, but she had 3 little kids underneath her. Good job, Teach. You can see her ripped our house up. I still got a little girl buried there, so I gotta go.
It seems like to me that as years go on that you see more and more of these big tornadoes, but I don't know. I know there's been big tornadoes as far back as recorded history that we've got.
Now that we've mentioned Missouri and Oklahoma, just to give you an average of the states that make up the Ozarks, and I'm not counting Illinois because I don't think Illinois is actually in the Ozarks. It could be.
There's a little piece of it they claim down the very south part of it.
Missouri averages 32 tornadoes a year. Oklahoma 56 tornadoes a year. Kansas 88 tornadoes a year, and Arkansas 39 tornadoes a year. So we come in 3rd place in the Ozarks.
I'll take 3rd place in that category.
Oddly enough, we are
Kansas and Oklahoma.
Yep. And I would have figured that.
Kansas and Oklahoma.
Yeah. But they're in Tornado Alley. What's weird is we're not. We're in Dixie Alley, which is made up of us and like Louisiana and Mississippi, I think. Some of those places. No,
I was just going to say that I know that there's certain areas in the United States that are more prone to tornadoes. Hence the name Tornado Alley and even Dixie Alley. You're taking a certain area that historically has more storms than other parts, and I don't know if it's just the terrain or if it's just where it lies, in the longitude and latitude of things. But it does. We all obviously get more storms on the east side of the Rockies and from the Great Plains. It seems like the further it goes east, it seems like the less activity. But it's still, you can get them, I guess, anywhere. Yeah, because we already hit on, Arkansas averages 39 tornadoes a year. As far as months, January, typically 4, February 2, March 5th, April 7, May 7, June 1, July 1, August 0, September 2, October 2, November 5, and December 2. We've already had several this year that surpasses the 5, 7, 1 zeros for sure. We're still in July, and there were several last night down in central Arkansas, I believe, in southern Arkansas. Was that was because of the hurricane, correct? Because of Burl. Goodbye, Burl. Yeah. Yes, goodbye. We did pick up some rain we needed, by the way. It was we didn't get dumped on here as much as I thought. As heavy as I thought we were. We needed the rain. We were kind of in a drought, so I'll take the moisture. But man, they can keep those storms. Yeah.
Arkansas, nestled in the heart of Dixie Alley, witnesses a significant number of tornadoes each year, averaging 39 tornadoes annually. The enhanced Fujita scale categorizes tornadoes based on the damage they cause, ranging from EF0, weakest, to EF5, strongest. Each category reflects increasing wind speeds and potential destruction. EF0 tornadoes may cause minimal damage to trees and signs. EF1 tornadoes can damage roofs and break windows. EF2 tornadoes have the strength to destroy mobile homes and cause significant damage to houses. EF3 tornadoes are capable of tearing roofs off houses and moving cars. EF4 tornadoes are very powerful, capable of destroying well-built houses and tossing cars like toys. EF5 tornadoes are the most devastating, capable of destroying almost everything in their path, including large buildings and sturdy homes. Arkansas's tornado history is marked by notable events that have left lasting impacts on communities. The deadliest tornado in Arkansas struck on March 21, 1952, claiming 112 lives across Judsonia, Bald Knob, and Cotton Plant. Another significant event was the longest tornado recorded in Arkansas history. On February 5, 2008, stretching 122 miles across counties including Yell, Pope, Conway, and others. In terms of width, the widest tornado documented in Arkansas occurred on May 26, 2024, reaching up to 1.82 miles wide in northern Arkansas, resulting in 9 fatalities. This outbreak included 15 tornadoes in a single day, the most since April 25, 2011. Additionally, an EF3 tornado west of Decatur set a state record with a path width of 3,200 yards during this event. The state's record for the most tornadoes in a single day stands at 56, occurring in January of 1999, during one of Arkansas's most active tornado years. The only known F5 tornado documented in Arkansas history struck on April 10, 1929, known as the Snead tornado in Jackson County, causing 23 fatalities among 54 tornadoes that day. These events underscore the importance of tornado preparedness and resilience in Arkansas, where communities continue to face the ever-present threat of severe weather. Understanding these records and the impact of different tornado intensities helps residents and authorities better prepare and respond to future tornado outbreaks.
A couple of tornadoes that stand out in Arkansas history. The deadliest tornado in Arkansas happened on March 21st, 1952, with 112 fatalities.
Man.
Judsonia got hit, Ball Knob got hit, and Cotton Plant got hit pretty hard. But 112, we had one a few weeks ago here. In our county, we had 2 fatalities, but can you imagine, 112 people, your neighbors and people you know?
That's frightening, and I think it's the scariest thing about it is it's so unpredictable. They can tell you that the conditions are ripe for that type of thing, but there's no way to pinpoint that it's going to hit or it's not going to hit. So it's always that guessing game. I can remember when I was a kid, grew up over in Lawrence County, and Lawrence County is split right between the Ozarks and the Delta. And you get on the Delta side, it seemed like there was just always more tornadoes over there. And my grandparents on both sides they're all just pretty scared of tornadoes. Anytime there was bad weather, and they didn't have the radar like we have now, they couldn't predict it as well. So anytime there was a cloud that come up in the spring or early summer, Grandpa had us in the storm shelter, and I just remember spending hours down there just waiting to see if something was going to happen. Most of the time it didn't, thank goodness, but that was just part of the culture. And I used to get in trouble for playing on top of the cellar too. Grandpa I never could figure that out because it was a concrete box, and it's got a little bit of dirt on it, and as I got older I started realizing that the early storm shelters a lot of them were made out of lumber, and so they weren't that strong on top, which makes you wonder, why did you get down in them, if they were that easy to collapse. But yeah, we were always getting in trouble for getting on top of the storm cellar and playing. But anyway, I digress now. Go back to your statistics.
I can remember we had one here in Yellville, and
the devastation was widespread. Damage estimates are in the millions of dollars. In the middle of this devastation, one thing Mother Nature cannot destroy is the support from friends and loved ones.
Just kind of look under there.
The cleanup and rebuilding process is already underway. Deb and Harlan Parnell lost their trailer and just about everything in it. Deb wasn't home when the tornado hit. Harlan was.
I just got in the floor and tried to stay in the floor in the bathroom, the front bathroom. It's just about the only part of the building that's still standing when it quit.
They're not sure how, but they, like most of the people in this community, say they will rebuild.
I won't tell my age here, but I was like 5 or 6 years old, and we went down to my aunt.
That's the year I graduated.
We went down to my aunt and uncle's house.
You went behind the ears, baby.
And stayed in their basement for a while. But I think that there was 3 fatalities. It was a F3. The largest tornado occurred on February 5th, 2008. I'm sorry, longest tornado. It was EF4, and it traveled 122 miles through Pope Conway, Van Buren, Stone, Izard, Sharp, and Baxter County.
Look at that EF4. Just look at that. I mean, the damage was devastating. As you look at the damage there, started in Yell County and lifted up near Highland in North Arkansas. So a lot of damage there, and 14 Arkansans lost their lives. It was the longest track tornado in Arkansas history. It was on the ground for 122 miles, 13 deaths. There was an additional death, a fatality in Gassville, Arkansas from a secondary tornado, but 7 counties affected as it just moved through North Arkansas.
Wow. That's a long time to be on the ground.
Mm-hmm. The widest, a few weeks ago, May 26, 2024. Here in northern Arkansas, an EF3 had a width of 1.82 miles.
New developments today. The National Weather Service has now confirmed at least 12 tornadoes touched down in Arkansas over Memorial Day weekend, killing at least 8.
Well, they have updated the width of the path now to 3,200 yards wide, which is 1.82 miles wide. That makes it the widest tornado in Arkansas's history on record.
There was 9 fatalities. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say was that the one that hit me?
Mm-hmm. Yep. Well, there was 2, but either way, it hit you. There's actually 15 tornadoes that night, which was the most since April 25th, 2011. But it started in Benton County, west of Decatur, and set a state record for a path width of 3,200 yards. Again, 9 fatalities, most since April 2014. The most tornadoes in one day was 56 tornadoes on January 21st, 1999.
Wow. That's just unbelievable. But
yeah, and I don't know
think
if it was like in a concentrated area or just all over the state or what, but that's a lot of tornadoes.
I bet it was. Yeah. And like I said, too, we've got the equipment and the capability of recording stuff like that better than what we used to. So, I don't know how long. I don't know how, like, in history, if you could take that same equipment and go back, if the statistics would be higher than what they were. But that's.
Tornado outbreak in Arkansas history swept across the state. A total of 56 twisters touched down January 21st and the 22nd of 1999. 8 people died, more than 140 were injured, and hundreds of homes and buildings were flattened. The capital city of Little Rock took a direct hit from one of the tornadoes. That twister also damaged the governor's mansion. The entire storm system produced 127 tornadoes in 10 states over that period, including Illinois, Missouri, Tennessee, and Louisiana.
But there again, that's what I said. That's the frightening nature of it. You just never know.
January 21st, a day many in Arkansas can never forget.
Indicating heavy rainfall and hail. And again, any of these thunderstorms do have the potential of producing tornadoes tonight because the atmosphere is just exactly right for it.
Between the 21st and 22nd, a total of 56 tornadoes touched down in the state, making it the largest tornado outbreak in Arkansas history. 8 of those tornadoes were rated at least F3, and there was an F4 in Clay County.
Yeah, I don't have a place to live right now. Just devastated.
30 of the tornado tracks were across 15 counties, responsible for 8 deaths and over 100 injuries. Tornado after tornado formed, leaving a path of destruction from Hot Springs to Jonesboro.
Crews and Good Samaritans scrambled to rescue so many trapped in wreckage, not knowing how many were safe, injured, or killed.
Anybody in there? Hello? Hello?
Many trapped in homes that had been leveled.
And it felt like we'd been down there forever. So it had to have been at least 45 minutes, maybe longer.
Did everything come down on top of you? Did you feel the house move?
Oh, the house totally shifted over and it fell all down on us.
trees that would be somewhere well over 75 to 100 years old have been tossed and twisted, metal, debris. It's just unbelievable.
There's these ones that we had that hit us in Marion County. It's been a month and a half ago, 2 months ago. That we knew that it was that it was a possibility that was going to happen, but nobody knew that there was going to be that many tornadoes break out down the line, that night.
The only known F5 tornado that's documented in Arkansas, April 10th, 1929, known as the Sneed tornado in Jackson County. There was one of 54 tornadoes that day with 23 fatalities.
Throughout history, Arkansas has been significantly impacted by devastating tornado outbreaks, highlighting the vital importance of preparedness and advancements in warning systems. One of the earliest recorded tornadoes in Arkansas occurred on January 11, 1898, devastating Fort Smith with 55 fatalities and 113 injuries, due to the lack of a warning system. Originating near Cache Creek, this F4 tornado swept through the area around midnight, causing extensive damage, including severe destruction to the newly opened Fort Smith High School. June 5, 1916 marked another tragic event when Heber Springs was struck by a tornado, resulting in 25 deaths and the destruction of over 50 homes. Similarly, on May 9, 1927, Victoria in eastern Union County was nearly obliterated by a tornado that claimed 30 lives, prompting the town's reconstruction and renaming to Strong. The most powerful tornado documented in Arkansas history occurred on April 10, 1929, the infamous Sneed tornado. This F5 tornado struck northern Jackson County, leaving 23 dead and over 59 injured alongside significant property damage. This event highlighted the devastating potential of tornadoes in the region. In subsequent decades, Arkansas continued to experience severe tornado outbreaks with substantial impacts. The tornado outbreak on January 3, 1949, in Warren resulted in 55 fatalities and the destruction of 700 homes. Another tragic outbreak on March 21, 1952, claimed 112 lives across the state, with significant casualties in Judsonia, Bald Knob, and Cotton Plant. Advancements in tornado warning systems have evolved significantly since these early devastating events. The development of NOAA weather radio and modern radar technologies has vastly improved early detection and warning capabilities. The implementation of county-based warnings and community alert systems has further enhanced preparedness, providing residents with crucial time to seek shelter during tornado threats. The year 1999 marked a pivotal moment in Arkansas tornado history with the state's largest tornado outbreak on record. In late January, 107 tornadoes struck Arkansas, part of a broader outbreak across the southern United States. The largest single-day tornado outbreak in Arkansas occurred on January 21st through the 22nd, 1999, with 56 tornadoes tearing through 15 counties, causing widespread damage and necessitating numerous tornado warnings and severe weather alerts. Recent tornado events, including the February 5, 2008 Super Tuesday tornado outbreak and the April 27, 2014 EF4 tornado in Mayflower, Conway, and Vilonia, alongside the May 26, 2024 storms in Benton, Baxter, Boone, and Marion counties, where 9 lives were lost and 17 tornadoes touched down, with the most powerful classified as EF3s, have underscored the critical need for ongoing preparedness and resilience in tornado-prone regions such as Arkansas. To stay safe during tornado season, it is crucial for residents to have a well-thought-out tornado emergency plan. This plan should include identifying a safe shelter, staying informed through NOAA weather radio and local alerts during tornado watches and warnings, and practicing drills with family members and coworkers. Being prepared and staying informed can save lives when tornadoes strike, ensuring communities in Arkansas are resilient in the face of severe weather challenges.
A couple of other notable ones. January 11th, 1898. This was before they could measure it, but it is documented. And I would say this was probably an F4, F5, but January 11th, 1898, Fort Smith, 55 fatalities and 113 injuries. Again, this was due to a lack of a warning system. Ours isn't perfect now, but at least we've got something.
And probably lack of storm shelters. I mean, there's still, most of us don't have what I would call adequate storm shelters, but there's more now than what there used to be.
Fort Smith was hit around midnight. It damaged the new school they built. June 5th, 1916, Heber Springs was devastated by a tornado. 25 deaths, destroyed over 50 homes. May 9th, 1927, Victoria, used to be called Victoria, in eastern Union County was nearly destroyed by a tornado. Killed 30 people. They rebuilt the town and renamed it Strong. I've heard of Strong, but I didn't know it was called Victoria at one time.
I didn't either.
January 3rd, 1949, Warren was struck. Destroyed 700 homes, 55 fatalities. March 21st, 1952, 112 lives were lost. Judsonia had like 30 fatalities. Ball Knob 10, Cotton Plant 29, and those were the areas that was hit the hardest, I believe. April 19th, 1968, Greenwood, 14 fatalities. May 15th, 1968, Jonesboro was hit, 35 deaths. December 14th, 1985, West Memphis had 6 fatalities.
It'd be really interesting to see, fatality-wise, I'm sure that the tornadoes that strike at nighttime end up taking more lives, I think, because
I would think so.
People are asleep and they don't know to take cover. I know the warning system is better now than it used to be, but I know I've just heard statistically, though, that the nighttime tornadoes are deadlier, and I think it's just because you're not as quick to take shelter as what you would be during the daytime.
Right. That year, 99, there was 107 tornadoes total.
Ooh, it's a lot.
March 1st, 1997, the tornado outbreak produced 58 tornadoes from Arkansas to Kentucky.
The March 1st, 1997 outbreak caused devastation in 3 states, but the worst by far was in central Arkansas. One fatal tornado carved a hole through downtown Arkadelphia. Another touched down in White County and left a 68-mile trail of destruction through 6 counties before breaking up in Greene County.
The most deadly one started near Benton, though, killing 10 people in Saline County and 5 more in the Little Rock area.
It looks terrible from the air. But you can't really tell how awesome the damage is until you get on the ground and talk to the people.
There, Patsy Hale was in tears, walking the neighborhood in search of her family's belongings. Little is left except smashed cars, a movie case, ruin, rubble.
My son and I are left, and that's how I'm holding up. The grace of God brought us out of that house. And if you look at all of this destruction, the grace of God brought a lot of people out of this.
Believe it or not, every house in Woodland Ridge has a black check mark. That means that everyone in that house is accounted for. Still, trained search dogs were used to once again make sure everyone in this neighborhood is alive. This is what Governor Huckabee saw aboard a military helicopter, an aerial view. This one above Arkadelphia, some say looks like a battleground. Huckabee had only one word for the aftermath: apocalyptic.
What we have here is a swath of destruction that really starts in southwest Arkansas and Hempstead County and literally goes to the northeast corner of the state, exiting in Greene County. So it's just an unbelievable level and scope that we haven't seen perhaps ever, and certainly not in a long, long time.
From the southwest corner to the northeast tip of the state, the governor stopped to tour the areas hardest hit by the tornadoes. En route, Huckabee spoke to President Clinton by cellular telephone. Huckabee asked for federal aid, and the president reportedly told him he'd do all he could to help his fellow Arkansans.
President Clinton spoke with reporters at the White House today about the visit.
I'm very concerned about it. I talked over the weekend I talked to the governor twice, and the mayor of Little Rock, and Representative Malone in Arkadelphia. It's a bad situation. More people were killed in 18 hours than in the 12 years I was governor, I believe, combined in the tornadoes.
Clinton's already declared a state of emergency in Arkansas, emergency that's far from over.
7 F4s were there. Arkansas had 25 fatalities. Saline and Pulaski County was hit the hardest with 15 deaths. And then like I said, 1999 was the rough one. It's most we've ever had. 2008, February 5th, 2008, known as Super Tuesday tornado, affected 5 states, including Arkansas, resulting in 13 deaths, an estimated $120 million worth of damages, and at least one EF4 tornado. Was that when Gasville got hit?
That was right around that time. I can't remember the year. I remember it. It started up here not too far from my house, on the other side of the mountain, and then just kind of went along Hall Mountain and jumped over the White River and hit Cotter and just tore it up.
April 25th, 2011, Hot Springs and Vilonia was hit. I don't know.
Vilonia, I cannot urge you how important it is. And also up the road, Avery Road, we got Naylor Road,
Naylor's up there.
Violence Road, we've got Schultz Road and Simpson Road. You folks in this area, also the El Paso community, you need to be in your tornado shelter right now, because this is an actual tornado confirmed on the ground, and what you're seeing right here is a debris ball. And what that means is the radar, as it shoots out the image, it is not seeing rainfall, it's not seeing hail. What it's seeing is it's seeing debris, big chunks of metal, trees, branches, roofs, stuff rotating violently around the center of this circulation. You folks in Vilonia, especially on the north side of Vilonia, we are thinking about y'all. We hope you're in your tornado shelters right now.
That the meteorologists at the National Weather Service are now taking shelter. They are in the safe room at the National Weather Service as we track the storm through the area.
It was hit. I remember the Vilonia one, 5 deaths. April 27, 2014, AF4 tornado hit Mayflower, Conway, and Vilonia again. I remember.
The National Weather Service in Little Rock has issued a tornado warning. Storm spotters and the National Weather Service Doppler radar were tracking a large and extremely dangerous tornado. Locations in the path of this violent tornado include Vilonia.
The folks here are tough. They look out for one another. More than any disaster, it is that dedication, that commitment to each other that truly defines this town. As one resident said, we just say a prayer and then get to work. This is a testament to the strength of this community, the strength of Arkansas, and the strength of America.
We are watching this rotation. The tornado is reported to have just crossed I-40. And we have multiple vortexes on the opposite side of the river from us. There are 2 houses completely swept clean. Tornado emergency for the city of Vilonia. Tornado emergency for Vilonia. More details momentarily. Very, 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 very bad.
I remember that one.
I remember that one.
16 deaths, 193 injuries. And that brings us up to now, May 26, 2024. Again, the widest tornado in Arkansas history.
New developments today. The National Weather Service has now confirmed at least 12 tornadoes touched down in Arkansas over Memorial Day weekend, killing at least 8.
Well, they have updated the width of the path now to 3,200 yards wide, which is 1.82 miles wide. That makes it the widest tornado in Arkansas's history on record.
9 people lost their lives. Hit Benton, Baxter, Boone, Marion County.
The National Weather Service confirmed this afternoon that an EF3 tornado touched down in Boone County and made its way into Marion County. Wind speeds with that storm topped out at 145 miles per hour. 3 of our state's 8 fatalities are in both of those counties. Our Kayla Christian spoke with a family in the town of Pyatt who is at home when the storm hit their property. She joins us with their story. Kayla.
This is the aftermath of the tornado that swept through Pyatt, Arkansas. The Hearst family land left with a mangled roof and piles of debris where barns, garages, and storages once were.
It's different, everything's different, but time changes everything, and you just got to keep rolling with it and build back.
Thankful that his family is okay, Hearst recalled the moments when the storm hit the family home.
We felt it hit the house and just felt it started sucking air up through the walls and the windows. I heard the roof go. I started worrying about my brother because, of course, his house was out here in the middle of it all.
Still in shock after his brother was launched from his mobile home on the property as it was thrown and crushed by the storm. Returning from the hospital this evening as the family salvaged what was left of their belongings.
It's just got to do what you got to do until everything gets back to normal. And it may be a while before things are back to normal, but it'll get back.
Now all temporarily displaced as they press on toward what the future holds. On your side, I'm Kayla Christian.
Kayla, thank you. The family says they were estimated to have lost around $2 million worth of property total. As our team proceeded through Pyatt today, they encountered a home that lay in ruins. Channel 7's Daniela DeHogany was there on scene with the impacted family.
Traveling further into Pyatt, Arkansas, we discovered one of the sites that was hit the hardest by the tornado. We found the homeowners outside with their family, salvaging what they could from their inhabitable residence. I spoke with homeowner Shirley Nowlin, the grandmother of 2 grandchildren who were with them during this tragic event. She tells me about their experience, rushing everyone down to the basement and barely getting her husband down there just in time before the tornado blew off the roof to their home.
He wasn't coming, and we realized that it was fixing to hit. So we hollered at him, but about that time he was down on the bottom step of the stairs, that go into the basement. And so he got in just in time.
Nowlin tells me this was their family home, where she watched her children grow up and her grandchildren play. She says it's difficult to see 45 years of good memories be gone in a split second.
It's been a good home, a lot of memories, and God's always been with us.
Nowlin tells me about their current stressors and how they are hoping to stay positive through this tragedy.
You don't know where your next meal is going to come from or where you're going to sleep tonight, but God's sending help, and I'm going to try to do better when I hear about somebody else in the future that needs some help. So
Nowlin says their family and church members are helping them with the recovery. She also mentioned that many strangers even came down to help, and they have been there all day long. On your side, I'm Daniela DeHogany.
Let's say there were like 15 different tornadoes that night. At least a couple was EF3s.
Two in our county that were EF3s.
Yeah.
And with those storms ripping through northern Arkansas, many are assessing the damage while many are still trying to piece their homes back together.
In the early hours of Sunday morning, powerful storms came down on northwest Arkansas, leaving twisted metal, downed power lines, and damaged homes in its path of destruction.
My family's on this farm since 1939. Never, ever had a tornado. Nothing. And this morning at 4 a.m. it came through and it took everything we had.
The Coatney family used to live here. That is, until early Sunday, when they say their mobile home was ripped out of the ground and thrown more than 300 yards away. They walked me through what used to be their home and is now just a stack of cinder blocks. They say they went to safety with just minutes before their home was destroyed.
I don't think we'd have made it through it if we wouldn't have been woke up from the phones going off with the weather alerts.
Others like the Nowlin family feel that pain. Shirley and her husband have lived here for 47 years. They raised their kids here. And now all those years of memories gone in minutes.
You see it on TV all the time, but until it happens to you, you really don't understand, and you don't realize that you don't know where your next meal's coming from or where you're going to sleep, and it's just a lot to take in.
But out of that destruction for both the Nowlins and the Coatneys, they're thankful. Thankful for the help their friends, families, and many strangers were able to lend.
The more you think about it, every time it comes in your head, it hits you a little harder, a little bit different. And I said, just thank you for everybody that has helped out.
Our church family's been wonderful, and strangers and other churches have been wonderful to come here and help us. And thank you's not enough.
2 tornadoes were simultaneously on the ground for 10 minutes together. Their paths were less than a mile apart during certain points. And I think that's probably here because we had one that hit come my way. We dodged a bullet, and another one came your
Just
way.
south, yeah.
And you wasn't so lucky.
Yeah, the one that went just south of you was probably no more than a mile or so, maybe 2 miles as the crow flies, from the one that hit me over here. Yeah, I mean, it hit Snow and Pyatt over there on the one that was close to your house, and then the one on my side of the county started around Brown Church Road, and then ended up over in Baxter County. What was the name of the
Briarcliff?
What was the name? Briarcliff, yeah, the subdivision over there, and which I've driven through both of those places, and it's amazing that no more people got hurt and killed than what they did, because it just destroyed homes left and right. I'll tell my story real quick. We got the warnings, probably 2 o'clock in the morning, 3 o'clock, whenever it was, and we got up, and we don't have a storm shelter, so the closest thing I've got to a safe structure around here is my little music room here, this wonderful closet right here. It's got a little extra. It's built a little extra tight. There's more studs in the walls and everything. So we just kind of figured that was a safe place to go. Anyway, my grandson was here, and my wife asked me if I thought we should go ahead and get him downstairs, and so we put some couch cushions in there and just kind of laid him there. He slept through the whole thing, but she got in there and sitting on the floor with him, and I went out on the front porch and just kind of watching the weather. Like you said, there's some hail came, and it started hailing pretty hard for a minute or two. Then it just stopped. It just kind of got real quiet, and I guess that was the front of the storm. And all of a sudden the wind started blowing harder and harder and harder. And I thought, well, it's going to pass by. It just kept on going. So it started getting kind of spooky. The trees are really blowing real hard. So I shut the door and kind of hot footed it downstairs and got right inside that door right there. And about the time I got the door shut, man, the whole house started shaking, and felt like the most violent earthquake you can think of. And I felt a little bit of kind of a lift, and I figured my roof was gone. And about the time all that happened, it's probably about as long as I've told the story here, it was over with. And I went back outside, and I thought, my roof would be totally gone. Well, I lost a little bit of my roof in the back, knocked down just tons of trees around my house, picked my sister's house up and moved it about 4 or 5 feet and just destroyed it. And then my shop was the same thing. It picked it up off the foundation and moved it about 7 foot down the hill. And but luckily none of us got hurt. So my Chihuahua, he decided to crawl between my legs and stay in there until it was all over with. He figured that'd be the safest place. That was the heaviest thing in the closet he could get under. So, but yeah, it'll shake your day up. I've been around him and I've seen him, but that was the first one I ever rode out. And don't really want to do it again in the near future. So I'm hoping that was one of those lifetime events for me and my family. But I'm glad that nobody else got hurt or you can replace houses, you can replace shop buildings, you can replace vehicles. You can't replace lives. And I just thank God that we made it through that without any more injuries or hurt, or any more damage than what we got. Still cutting up trees even today. We had a guy come out and had to cut a couple trees off what's left of my sister's house, and I'm still 2 months later now, cutting up trees and trying to get my old shop building, all the stuff torn down off it so I can rebuild. So yeah, it's life goes on. That's part of living in this country. That's part of it. Tornadoes are just a risk that we all take, and there's nothing you can do about it but try to prepare the best you can. And I'm going to try my best to build me a storm shelter this summer. So
we, like I said, we dodged the bullet. We got in our storm shelter. When we had our house, but we had a pretty good sized crawl space, and one corner of it actually it's under the room that I'm in right now. We made a storm shelter, concrete floor and walls, and everything's hurricane strapped down. But some of my neighbors didn't get so lucky. And my kids had a friend from school that lost his life. And then there's actually a kid here staying the night with my oldest, and his grandparents completely lost everything that they'd worked their whole life for, their house, their shop, vehicles, everything. Just a sad deal. Couple questions for you. Did you hear the freight train? And
I did.
Were you in shock for a day or two before you finally realized how fortunate you are that you made it through?
Well, I'll start with the freight train thing. That's no lie. I mean, it sounded. Now, it's not like you hear a whistle or anything like that, but it sounds like metal on metal train coming right through our living room. It was just that rumble and that roar, you know. And I know it's just, you know, it's because it's shaking the whole house and everything. But yeah, it did. It sounded just like a freight train, a cargo train coming right through like you're sitting right on the tracks with it. And then as far as like the shock, it's still even to this day. I mean, it's been that long. There's days that, you know, you just come home and you see you see the progress that you make of getting kind of things put back together. But then like right now, you know, my shop building was still sitting there, but we started taking the roof off it and started taking some of the siding off it. And it's just kind of shocking to see that it's like, oh, this is real, you know. But yeah, the first couple of days though, it was you're just kind of shell shocked, you know. All the debris and just, you know, stuff laying around, and just seeing everybody's house. It's like my sister's house. I walked inside of it a couple weeks ago, and it's the first time I've really been inside of it since all this has happened. And it just about bring you to tears, you know, because you think about all the time that you spend in there. You know, we have a lot of family dinners and events over there. You know, Thanksgiving, Christmas, and you just look at that and realize that that's gone. You know, that the building is the memories and the family's still there. But yeah, it's just it's like a death, you know, or anything like that. It's just it takes a little bit to come to terms with it, and you just realize your vulnerability, you know, that it's that how quick all that stuff can just go away. And we all put a lot of we put a lot into our possessions and, you know, our house and our cars and things like that. You know, like you say, you spend a lifetime building that stuff up sometimes, and it really don't mean nothing. You know, it's your family, your friends, and that you can't replace. You know, buildings, stuff you can replace that stuff, but yeah. So that's the lesson in this whole thing for me is even though it's hard to deal with the whole thing and try to rebuild and all that stuff, it's not even about that. It's about that we're all okay, you know. And some folks are not that lucky, and you've got to keep that keep that in mind.
Yeah, I feel awful for the people I know that lost their home or anything else. But again, we also know a few that lost their lives, and I can't imagine what, you know, like you said, things can be replaced, lives cannot. So take your tornado warning serious, and
yes, definitely
hit shelter when there's a warning, whether it's in the center of your home or the bottom floor or wherever. You don't want to take any chances.
Your closet,
couch cushions, bath, you know, whatever.
Yeah, away from windows,
but,
you know, in the lowest part of your house. But yeah, I think, you know, taking those, you know, so many times you hear the warning and nothing ever happens. But I'm here to tell you, sometimes it does happen, and I'm really thankful that we had the foresight that night to get up and come downstairs. You know, it didn't just blow my house away. Like I said, I lost a little bit of roof on my house, but we were able to patch that up until we get our new roof put on. But if the whole house had went, you know, if we'd stayed upstairs, it would have probably killed us. So, you know, take it seriously and get to shelter as soon as you can.
Yeah. Like Joe said, if you get anything out of this, take it serious and hit shelter. I'm one of those idiots that likes to walk out on the front porch and take a look and see if I can see anything. But
me too. Yeah.
Probably don't need to be doing that.
Well, that's kind of the man dad thing, that my grandpa always did that. He would stand there in the cellar door open and watch, for like he was going to be able to do something about it. He just wanted to kind of know if it was going to hit or not. But kind of a serious episode, but at the same time though, it is part of our 1836 culture in Arkansas. I mean, it's always been a part of us, and it always will be part of us. And you just kind of take it with a grain of salt and respect it and hide from it if you can.
I'll end it on a little bit lighter note. So when I hardly ever go to the shelter unless I think something's going to happen. The wife, different story. She wants to hit it. When I go, I just go. She cleans the house first, as if that's going to make a difference, because if it hits the house, it's gone. And she will take enough stuff down there to survive 2 weeks. When in reality,
might be a good thing if you get buried.
Well, in reality, it's only going to last a few seconds, and then we're out of there. But anyway, if there's anything to laugh about, it's something like that. That's about all I got. Again, hope you found this interesting. Some of these stats.
This is a real happy episode. Wasn't
Yeah,
it?
this is kind of a downer one that we've done, but thank you all for listening and watching, or however it is you come across this. And again, share us, like us, keep sending us some topic suggestions. We got several that we're going to try and wade through. Sometimes we're not always able to record, and when we're not, we'll still put something out. But
yeah, like us and share us with your friends and spread the word around, and we'll keep on doing what we're doing.
Till next time, we're out of here.
Bye, guys.